Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As actually by the title of today's video, we're here to showcase the patch notes for Season 2 in NBA 2K23. As you can see, Mike Wang literally just tweeted this 2 minutes ago, posted it on Reddit. I've already skimmed through it, so we're going to go ahead and showcase to you guys what is going to be changing, or, as you can see by the title of today's video, most likely, not changing in NBA 2K23 for Season 2 as far as this patch. So, let's get straight into it. I hope y'all enjoy. If you do, for to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all that good stuff, and like always, try to 2,000 likes. Alright, so as a lot of you guys can see, this is extremely small. It's going to be so hard for you to see. So we're not going to do that because this is ridiculous. So what I did instead is I sent the DM to myself of all of these segmented and kind of split off together. So we'll go ahead and just read these together. Alright, so first and foremost, we have the general. We'll skip past this one for the most part. It's pretty much just explaining that the Bill Russell number 6 logo has been added to each court for all 30 NBA teams and added to the uniforms. Stuff with like the edit player and stuff like that, create a player. Either way, it's pretty useless information, so we'll skip past that one. Gameplay though, this is what you guys are all here for. I am going to read these off one by one to you. However, I want to let you know, the general consensus that I got from this is that steals are not being patched, and honestly, if they were going to patch it, it would have been in this one. So my assumption is they're not touching gameplay. It's as simple as that, which is a good thing for some people. I think for some others, it's a bad thing. Personally though, I think it's okay. Honestly, you're going to hear a lot of the stuff that they worked on in this too, and some people might be interested as well, because I'm going to be honest with you, I was not expecting one of these, because as you can see, one of them is shot timing as far as hook shots. I don't know what was wrong, so to say, with those. Another one that's also a pretty notable information piece is going to be the air balls. They no longer happen on slightly earlys or slightly lates, and obviously, not greens. So obviously, it's only going to be happening on lates and earlys now, which is definitely good. It was pretty unreasonable. Those are the most demoralizing air balls ever, is if you get a wide open slightly early and literally still airball it. That's crazy. Other than that though, what I thought was actually wild to see is that the frequency of contact dunks on lower difficulty levels has been increased. Now, here's the thing. I don't know what courts count as lower difficulty levels. I don't know if that means only in the park. I don't even know if it just means only in my league when you're playing on rookie, pro, all-star, semi-pro, if that's even a thing, or even just my career. So I don't know what the case is with that, but we'll have to tone and kind of understand what the contact dunk frequency is looking like when it comes to the park versus maybe the rec center or pro-am. I'm not sure, again, what they even consider for the lower difficulty, so to say, between courts, but those were the 2 or 3 things that stood out to me the most. But other than that, we'll go ahead and just read all of them down, and then again, I'll get to the other information pieces as well. But again, no steals being patched in here. Anywhere listed in the gameplay, anywhere listed in anything in the patch notes. So anyway, moving along. We'll go from top to bottom. We'll skip over the ones that we've already talked about. Gameplay. Fixed a problem with certain standing layups that would cause them to fade away from the rim instead of toward it. So I've already known this is kind of a thing. I never knew that it was really just holding your X button though. I kind of thought that either you were holding your stick subliminally backwards, or low-key, I guess I did it a little bit in last year's game when it comes to the close shot mashing. So interesting thing, definitely a small benefit to the close shot mashing style players or anything like that. Next up is a defensive issue, which I'm a little bit intrigued by as well, because I'm not exactly sure how defensive shading even entirely works, but this could be something that was stalling a lot of us from playing good defense. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this information right here. Again, to me, this maybe means just like you don't get penalized for playing good on-ball defense as much, and it just kind of stops you from playing D entirely. But again, leave in the comments what you guys think this whole defensive shading issue is that they're talking about. But anyway, Dream Shake will now lessen the penalty when chaining multiple fakes together. I didn't know that either, that the more that you do, the less effective it was. So apparently that's no longer a thing as well. The run game plan, I don't even know what this is. It doesn't even matter. This should have been put in some My Team stuff if you ask me, not really gameplay stuff. But anyway, next up, certain post animations that weren't playing out as intended have now been properly enabled. Again, not a huge deal to me or anything like that. I don't know if this really means just like hooks, fades, shimmy fades, stuff like that. Most likely it's some shimmy animation that just didn't really finish out or anything like that. Again, this one right here is actually another solid piece of information. Shot fakes that could force the player to go out of bounds unintentionally will no longer do so. I'm guessing this is more of like maybe a pump fake thing on layups, so to say, or maybe it really is just a jump shot that was forcing people to go out of bounds if it was some really wacky base or something like that. So it's really crazy that they see information like that in the first place, or that the feedback reaches these guys. Maybe it was some really, like I said, really wonky jump shot that they just got submitted to them and they're like, oh, okay, we'll just fix that. But anyway, as you can see, CPU players no longer use layup timing as they're unrealistically proficient with it, which I agree. Not that CPUs are hard to beat. Like when I was grading people out on the 1v1 court and stuff like that, they were going crazy with that layup meter if they ever were just like not getting the shot blocked, because I was hitting them with like the my career methods and stuff like that, trying to just bait them into blocks, get the possession going with and stuff like that. But they were definitely hitting like 40s consistently with that layup stuff. So interesting that that's a thing. I'm not sure it was a huge concern or anything like that. In my opinion, CPUs are kind of a detriment to the team on rec as well, so I don't know if I'm a big fan of that in the first place anyway. But moving along, the free throw difficulty slider will now function correctly. I'm not sure if that even means it affects online gameplay. I probably don't know as far as that goes, but obviously you can change this in my league and stuff like that, so at least a piece of information with that. Fix some problems with controllable rim hangs that were causing players to vault into the air unexpectedly. We've all seen the clips that are like this, most likely, but again, this one right here, talking about the air balls, will no longer happen on the slightlies. Shot timing will now work correctly for hooks. We already talked about that as well. Frequency of contact dunks, once again, we talked about. Made shots will now have more ball rim physic interaction variation rather than always swishing. So I don't know what's up with that. That to me is really odd. I don't like when greens hit the rim. I think, and this game is really just constant greens only going in and not whites. So I don't know. Interesting that that's even something that they're going to change. But anyway, other than that, fixed favorite plays. Again, don't really care about that stuff to be completely honest with you guys. Resolved a rare hang that could occur during certain inbound plays. That's interesting. So that's probably some rec pro-am type stuff right there, obviously. Michael Jordan signature animations have been updated. So I don't know if this is including layups or if it's also including dunks or if it's only dribble animations. But again, Michael Jordan's type signature animations have been updated. Added new facial expressions to several animations. Again, not really a big deal. We'll move along to the next tab. All right, now this one I haven't read myself, so this will be information that I'm just kind of gonna read off the top of the script right here and just go ahead and react to it as well. But anyway, for the city, pro-am, rec, and theater, many improvements to performance and stability have been made to enhance the overall experience in the city, so obviously that's okay. Moving along, next up, the court status overlay is now available when standing on a got next spot in the city. I'm guessing this means you can view the other courts while you're actually standing on the got next and see where, you know, their statuses and stuff like that. So that's definitely a W. Reduce the delay in exiting a court after winning a game in the city. Okay, so this is where some people maybe were just getting stuck on the dots because they weren't spamming X or spamming B too hard. So that's definitely a decent W as well. This one, I just actually read this earlier. The remaining player in head-to-head games will now be awarded a win if all other players have left. A day late and a dollar short, 2K. I'm not gonna lie, you definitely took a lot of people out of that rec quest, and myself included, because I was not gonna sit here and grind 190 wins to only have like 90 of them count. So I don't know, it is what it is. Maybe they'll have some season quests coming up in the next one that actually like are important for this as well, but either way, games played in the theater will now properly count toward the user's skill level progression. This is something I saw in the 1v1 court that it didn't count, so that's definitely solid, interesting. Various fixes and improvements have been made to private matchmaking in squads, including when entering the event center. So I'm not exactly sure, you know, it's just talking about various fixes and improvements, so it's not something huge or anything like that that I can really mention in the video. But anyway, several changes related to invites have been made to increase stability and better streamline the experience. I absolutely hope this is the fact that like names don't shift up and down in your phone when you're trying to send invites to people, because it's the absolute worst. I've sent like 7 accidental pro-am invites to somebody that I'm not even trying to send it to. It's pretty crazy. All right, so next up, they talk about various updates have been made to games on district courts in the city to improve experience and ensure intended progression. I'm guessing this is like the J. Cole Dreamer courts and stuff like that you play in those My Career quests to try and get accelerator, extender, stuff like that. So I guess, hey, W's a W, I guess, even if it's the smallest one I can think of. But anyway, fixed an issue that could cause some weekly quests to expire early. I definitely have seen a couple of these myself. It's definitely not ideal, so it's a good thing they got to that. Addressed various issues with the stat overlay in Pro-Am to improve their accuracy. Again, not a huge deal. I don't really know if that's something worth talking about either. Fixed a rare issue that would cause players to be invisible when entering ante-up. Interesting. I've definitely seen a couple of those as well. I think this might be more of an Xbox Series S issue though. I'm not exactly sure. Resolved an issue with adrenaline boost occasionally displaying the incorrect number remaining. Interesting. I didn't know that was even a thing, to be honest with you. I've never even heard of that. Moving along. Resolved an issue that was causing the shot meter to be invisible when shooting in Brickley's gym. Again, didn't really know about that because I don't have a shooting build in there, and not to mention I would just have meter off. And then lastly, we have the tattoos, pretty much saying if you have more than one on a body part, you can just remove only that one and not everything altogether. So again, solid W. But anyway, moving along to the final one. We have the My Career / quests and progression. This is going to be kind of a little bit of a long process to talk about, but I'll go ahead and read it for you guys that are interested in the patch notes and don't want to read it yourself, so you can just have someone read it to you. Again, if you made it this far in the video, feel free to put patch in the comments, start supports me all the way through, or put patch 1. But anyway, we're going to talk about this My Career quest and progression. So the first one that I see that pops off at my eyes is the core My Player progression speed has been slightly increased. Very, very solid, but we'll go from the top to bottom and actually read this. Multiple fixes and adjustments have been made to improve the overall quest experience and ensure proper progression throughout the mode. Again, we just talked about the core badge being increased as far as the progression. That's really ideal. Fixed an issue that was preventing certain tier 3 badges from being cored. Okay, so this is interesting because I thought this was intended, to be honest with you, but maybe they just got enough backlash with it and just kind of changed with it. But to my knowledge, I was thinking that they wanted it like that, where if you put an extra badge point on to be able to equip a tier 3, that you wouldn't be able to core it. But hey, to be fair, I guess that is reasonable. I do understand why they would change that, so fair enough. Fixed a rare issue that could cause certain animations to reset to default. Okay, thank God that they got to this. And I don't know why they didn't put this in the gameplay stuff. This would have been so good to read earlier, but hey, this is what you guys get for actually reading or listening to the end. But again, fixed a rare issue that could cause certain, I wouldn't call this rare either for that matter, but certain equipped animations to reset to default. Thank God for that. So great. Several changes have been made to improve photo quest. Okay, this one doesn't matter. Who cares? Badge progression will now work correctly when playing games on the district courts in the city. Okay, I don't know if that means they're toning it down or toning it up. I'm not sure. Resolved an issue that was preventing certain users from continuing after playing one of the games at the Dreamer Park in the It's a Cold World quest line. Okay, again, didn't see too many people deal with that. Fixed an issue with certain Coach Graves quest where he wouldn't be present in the locker room. Okay, so we're getting to some stuff that doesn't even matter so much. And if you want to actually read some of this stuff, you absolutely can. I'm just kind of skimming at this point to be able to actually find something that might matter, but it doesn't look like that's gonna be the case. So, okay, fair enough. So that's pretty much the whole video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Again, this is all the way to the end of this. So we just went through the city, we went through the My Career quest and progression, went through the gameplay, and then in general, didn't have too much like notification to it or anything like that. But again, I'm really, really happy with this feedback. I'll be really interested to see as far as the dunking, like kind of frequency, so to say, because as we looked at in the gameplay, the big things to look for are the dunk frequency, the post. I want to see how the post game is because this is very interesting information up here as well. Yeah, the shot timing will now work correctly for post hooks when playing online games. Again, I don't know what incorrectly was even going on, to be honest with you, but again, the frequency of contact dunks on lower difficulty has been increased. Made shots will have more like rim like kind of aspect to it. And again, no pluck steals being patched. So it's interesting. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I actually was going to make a video pretty soon talking about the small guards being one of the more underrated builds now, again, where I think people are sleeping on them and how good they are at resisting plucks, and that's just my true opinion, to be honest with you. And again, I think if you do have Hall of Fame glove and you have 99 steel, it's kind of reasonable. I mean, that's what you're grinding your build for. That's what you like put a lot of investment into it for. So I don't know. It's tough to say. 6.7s aren't even like a meta build, so to say. Like they are because of the Hall of Fame glove. But if you nerfed Hall of Fame glove and just made pluck steals bad, 6.7s wouldn't really be that good, to be honest with you. 6.8s, 6.9s would be eating off that. I think really the pluck steals is the one thing that's making 6.9s and 6.8s not like so ridiculously OP, because that's the point of making a small guard. So that's my feedback. That's my interpretation on this patch. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and let me know if I was reading okay. I don't know if I'm going to accidentally put some stutters in here because I'm trying to get it out quick, but who knows. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos. Feel free to subscribe if you're new, and if you made it to the very end of the vid, put Laker in the comments so it supports me all the way through. But anyway, like I said, that's all for the vid. Hope y'all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.